All right, welcome back, guys, to Unemployed to Full-Time Trader. Market's about to open. Quick TLDR as always of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for buys. Um, yeah, I'm looking for buys. So hopefully we could potentially, what should I call, come back down, create some sort of range for me to actually take a trade. I'm hoping that we don't actually take these levels, kind of like what happened yesterday. So let's see. Let me actually forgot to open these stuff up. Okay. So yeah, I hope we don't actually take those highs right away. I hope we could come back down. It looks like, I'm telling you, I've been right. I've been pretty right about the direction the market's gonna go to pretty early into the markets. Man, that's crazy, bro. That's so annoying because it's like, because even if I take sales, the sales don't really make sense to me. Because, I mean, maybe it makes sense a little bit, but to where, That's gonna be the issue. Like, where do I take the profit at? That's just so annoying, actually, though. I mean, we took the London and Asia highs. We haven't taken the New York highs. Okay. I'm still looking for buys, by the way, because I'm expecting price to probably come back up to here. I mean, it's just kind of insane. These 9:30 candle openings are just so ridiculous. How do you move 100 ticks within, like, I don't know. Literally the same situation happened yesterday. I was looking for sells and price opened. We were like, let's say this was our TPs, like down here. We were looking for sells and price just literally opened and just went boom to the downside. I mean, the only way I would look for a sell here, bro, is if, let me see. Yeah, I guess if we take these pre-New York or previous New York session highs, then I could look for a sells because we technically haven't taken these lows. But I mean, I'm not putting my TP onto here. I'm probably gonna take like a quick profit out of this, like a quick trade or something. As of now, I would still be looking for buys, but I mean, I need price to come back down. I need price to do something like this to then go up. Bro, that is so annoying, actually. I was debating whether I should have gone in on this, on the inverse of this gap, so like I would have gotten in here or something. But it's just too risky. I think like even though I am right most of the time, I wouldn't say every single time I'm right, but most of the time I am right about what price is gonna do as soon as market opens, but it's just like I don't expect price to actually do it so quick, you know. Even though I am right most of the time, it's still very risky to do it because it's just like price is so volatile. Lately it's been pretty crazy. I mean, this is kind of getting inverse, but I don't really want to take this, to be honest. I would much rather look for buys. Because the idea is like, okay, if I do look for sells now, at any time price could come back up and take these highs, these previous New York session highs. So the way we would only actually look for sells is if we, excuse me, is if we take that previous New York session high. For now, you would look for buys onto that New York session high. Once we're here, then you can look for sells if you want. There is a gap here being made, but the TP doesn't make much sense really. Yeah, I would expect price to drive down after that. Right now, what I would want is for price to keep going down, like come down to at least down here, somewhere down here, so then I could look for the buy up. I guess if you look at it from the 5 minute, there is a level here that we could potentially come down and take. Even down here makes a little bit of sense. Such a small one though. We're about to reach this big 5 minute gap actually. Let me mark this up. If this last 1 minute candle can respect this 5 minute gap, we could potentially find entries here. If price makes a gap here, ideally. Because I don't want to base it off of the small gap. I'd rather just base it off of a bigger gap. Okay, there we go. I guess, I guess this trade would have played out. Like looking at it from now. I mean, stops would have been pretty big stops there, but ITB would have probably been right there in this, or in the middle of this gap. I don't know. Stops would have been pretty big. I don't know if I would have actually gotten in on that. Could have maybe gotten in on this. Like, I don't know. Okay, we took that low, so that's really good. So we could actually look for buys now. Buys look really good for us. If this candle could, like, flip up, that would be so good for us. Such a good entry. Okay, we're just going down. Jesus. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I should have taken that sell, but I mean, in hindsight, like, obviously it looks like, oh, it's a really good trade, but for me, like, my perspective was like, okay, sure, we took Asia highs and London highs, but I was expecting price to take out the previous New York session high, and we haven't done that yet. So like, what was scary about taking this trade is like I was afraid that price would come back up to take these highs and then do this move. But I mean, clearly, it just it just drove down. So we took liquidity on this one. What I'm seeing here though is like, okay, yes, price came up to these highs, but it made relatively equal highs here, pretty close to the near session high. I would assume price wants to come back up. Let's see. This is previous New York session lows, so honestly, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, it's good that that we're gonna grab this. If we grab this, this is potential. I mean, even better for us, right? I'll still look for entries right now because we already took quite a bit of liquidity. So I'll still look for the entries now, like even if we don't take this. If we do, even better. Okay, beautiful. So we took that. Okay, so now I mean buys is pretty much the only option that we have. That is so good actually. Okay. We could get really good entries here, and we have quite a bit of range. And I could go pretty low risk on this too. Okay, guys, I like that it didn't do that. If he just flips it like that, oh, such a high. That's such a. It's not really that big of a TP actually, or a SAO. Cause I'll be losing like it's not that big. Yeah, my TVs are probably gonna be up here. If we just inverse this gap like that, I'm probably gonna enter. Okay, so about 12 seconds, or sorry, 4 seconds left. Okay, so we reacted off of it. Now, if this next candle just closes above, I'll still get in. Like, if it just comes up, boom, closes above this gap, I'll still get in. The reason why is because it's basically an engulfing candle with an inverse gap, with us inversing a gap. But if it doesn't, if it just reacts, off of this candle, like to the downside, I'll probably want to wait until we close above this one. It just really depends. It really depends on what candle inverses this gap. If it's like a really nice big candle to the upside, then yes, I'll get in. But if it's like consolidation and price is just moving weird, then I'd rather just wait for a nice closure above a gap. Okay. So yeah, we reacted off of that. There's a lot of volume right now, it looks like, on market, which is, I mean, I guess it's good. Okay. See, if it's like this, like if this goes up to here, above here, and I think I might want to get in on this. Yep. One. Okay, I haven't gotten in yet. Okay, I'm in. Okay, I just entered. Okay, it's not that risk. It's not horrible. Okay, so I just entered. I I was just expecting like a little retracement. I wanted to get on the retracement, but it's fine. I'm just I entered now because I entered basically like right here. Let's say right there. Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's the retracement that we were expecting. Okay. And then our TPs. I think I'm gonna set my TP on the previous New Year session high. Because I feel like if price is gonna come up here, take these highs, I might as well just keep driving up to here. You know? That's the expectation. Okay, it looks like there's a new 5 minute actually. Oh, I didn't know that. Might be cooked. I think this 5 minute might just drive us down. Damn. Okay, unlucky. I honestly. Whoa. What even was that, dude? Yeah, we'll call it a day, but that was a weird freaking move. We almost got stopped out. We're not out yet though. We're probably gonna be out. The next 1 minute count is probably gonna cook us here. Or just this 1 minute candle. Okay, we got stopped out. Alright, we're gonna call it a day. I don't know. I'm trying to see what I could have done better. I think I should have been aware that this is a new 5 minute and we were, you know, a new 5 minute candle. Typically what price does then is like I should have just been aware that this was going to be a new 5 minute. With that in mind, yeah, we got cooked. I mean, I just had to call it a day. I don't know what price is going to do now, really. Because we did inverse that gap properly too. We had inversed it. We inversed this little gap here with a nice big push up to the upside as well. I think I should have just gone in on this. I just didn't trust. I didn't trust my gut. I was looking for buys because we had taken so much liquidity prior to New York Open. We had taken so much liquidity to the downside, or buy side liquidity, and I was expecting price to actually just come up here. Like what I wanted price to do in the opening was like to come down and then go up to then take, you know, my take profit was going to be up here, which it did exactly that. It went up. That was my take profit, but I was expecting price to keep going up to like New York highs. I mean, I think I should just call it. I don't think, because I feel like now, yeah, I'm just gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a day. It's whatever. It is what it is. I don't think I should, you know, still try to trade this, especially after that big push to the downside like that. Like, I don't know. I just don't know how much lower price can go. Yeah, dude. I want. I mean, I think it was just oh, bro, I don't know. It's fine. I'm like debating in my head if I should take another trade or not. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm gonna call it a day. I have to get used to this feeling of like ending the day in the market pretty quick with an L, right? Like with the W, it feels really nice. Like, oh yeah, but it is what it is. I guess I just had the wrong idea. I mean, I did want to look for sales. I did want to look for sales, but I wanted to look for sales once price took these highs, the previous New York session highs. But I guess the London Nation highs was more than enough for it to actually take those levels. Hmm. Yeah, I think I should have just been like, okay, price took Asia London high. Although there is a chance that we come back up to New York session highs. Hmm, that's true. Because since we just so basically like my thought process is like, okay, since we just took liquidity here, price is gonna look liquidity on the on down here, right, on the buy side. But since we just took sell side liquidity, price is gonna look for buy side liquidity, which is these levels that I had marked. So even though we just took this, and there is a small chance that price keep coming up to take this New York session high, I should have been like, okay, price just took this, we inverse the gap. There's a pretty high likelihood that price is gonna want to hunt some buy side liquidity to then flip back up and come to the New York session highs. And I mean that's pretty much. It looks like that's what we're doing right now. I think I should have taken this. Looking at it now. It sucked too because I mean stops were pretty high. I didn't lose that much. I lost 0.7%. Because that was risk management property, but yeah, stops were pretty big though. Because yesterday I had a winning trade, but since I'm going low risk because I'm in drawdown right now, pretty big drawdown. I only made like 0.9%, so I'm pretty much just I'm up like 0.3% on the week. Oh my god. Yeah, that was it. That was a really good entry too as well, because it was just right on those levels. Price comes down and versus the gap. You put your stops up here. You could put like this. This is probably the best, like the most secure TP, but you could have maybe extended it up to here. Price perfectly hits it, and yep. I think the buys also made sense though. Like me taking this buy was not a bad idea. I think it made sense look at it from the perspective of like, okay, price came down, we just took out a whole bunch of liquidity, and we took the previous New York session lows. So surely price is gonna flip up, and it you know, it had a reaction, and we were like, the idea was like for us to keep riding that reaction, but it was just like a little reaction and to then just keep coming back down. But yeah, look, this is this is what I was waiting for. I wanted to see what was gonna happen, but this is why we just take one trade, right? Like, we inversed this gap and we saw it happen in real time. Old me would have like wrench traded and gotten in on this, and I would have gonna stopped out again, right? So that's the point. I think I lost the move that I wanted to look for today. I lost the opportunity, right? Which was, I think the opportunity for me to get in was here. And I just lost it. Because again, you just don't know how much lower price can go now. For all I know, price could just try to hunt these levels, you know? Alright. We'll just call it quick little trading day. I think from now on, like, I'll try to, I think I should start trusting more those Asia lows, or those Asia London levels, and like not really worry too much about previous New York highs and previous New York lows, because they don't matter as much. It seems that way, at least. Man, right now, guys, in my head, I want to take a trade so bad. Like, I want to like stay on the markets and keep looking for trades. I just have to call it, man. It's never worth it for me to, like, especially after I take an L. I would say 9 out of 10 times is never worth it for me to keep looking for a trade, because there are days that it does play out, you know, where I take another trade and the trade plays out and I'm able to make at least something, right? I'm able to make back the loss that I had plus some profits. That has happened, but it happens more often when what happens more often is that when I lose a trade and I take another trade, I lose the following trade, because I would have taken this, but the fact that I said, okay, I'm not gonna take anything, I was able to avoid that loss, because I'm just, right now it's like I'm just wrong about the move that's gonna happen, and I missed the move that I could have taken. So it's like and like, to be honest, this was base case scenario for buys. We took lows, right? We took all these lows, all this liquidity. We were expecting prices to react off of that liquidity grab, but you know, it did react, but it wasn't a huge reaction. Like, it reacted like this, and then boop, it just came down. Yeah, I just have to get used to this. I think, like, this is gonna benefit me a lot if I'm able to do this and stay to this. And dude, it's like I'm only spending 30 minutes in the markets, whereas before I would spend, like, you know, I mean, you can see on the videos, like hour and a half, you know, hour and 40 minutes, hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours in the markets. And I don't think that's a good thing. Generally speaking, I think most traders would agree that the more time you spend on the market, the worse it is for you as a trader, because you just start making mistakes that you shouldn't be making. But yeah, anyways, I'll move on to tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, we still have 2 days left on the week. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow is a winning day. If not, it is what it is. I am, just so you guys know, I'll show you guys the account. I'm about to lose them. And this is why I'm only starting to just take one trade, because I've noticed that, like, shit just doesn't work, bro. Like, taking multiple trades a day just doesn't work or it's not worth it, because at least until I'm a more professional trader, because like right now, obviously I'm not, and I feel like trades that I take, or when I do take an L, the second trades typically there's some type of emotions involved in there. So this is my 10K account. Right now I'm at 9,400. This is the fund that I count. So this is the account that I passed phase 1 and phase 2. Yeah, I'm at 9,400, so I could basically lose another 2%. But yeah, if I do lose those 2%, then the account is gone. And then I have a 100K account, which is actually more drawdown. So I can only lose 1%. So I have potentially 2 more good trades in me. But honestly, man, like, I deserve to be in this position. Like, I'll show you guys my trade tracker. Like, I'll show you guys what happened basically. All right, so it started off basically last week, right? Look at this. Yeah, last week. So I took it, start off the week pretty freaking good. Take a nice 3% W. Now I was up, just think about this, I was up 4% on the account by this time. Okay, on both accounts. I lose 2.9% net the following day because I over leveraged. I lost the first trade, right? So just keep that in mind. I lost that first trade, and what happens is I took another trade, and I started to like scale in positions because I wanted to not only make back whatever I lost in this first trade, but also make some more on top of that, right? So I over leveraged myself in this second trade. This first trade was completely okay. Like, the trade made sense. Everything made sense. I believe it made sense. Yeah, we grabbed London lows, and we took an entry on the inverse of that gap. We went in with pretty low risk. So like, I think the first trade we only lost like point something percent. It was like 0.7, 0.8%. But then the second trade just cooked us because I, again, over leveraged because I came in emotionally from that previous trade. The following day after that, okay, I just had a huge L day. You know, where I lost 3%. I'm still right at break even pretty much. I took this dumb trade. So this first trade is ridiculous. It didn't make sense at all because, well, the idea here was like, okay, I was looking for sells, and sells didn't make sense, right? As you can see, but we got in here when I should have let price, you know, do its thing, make some sort of gap to inverse, like this one right here, inverse that gap, and then get in on this. But instead I just got in off of okay, so this is what I get in. I didn't even get in off of the inverse of this gap necessarily, because if I would have gotten in on the inverse of that gap, I would have had to put my stops up here, and I just didn't feel comfortable with that. So what I did was there was a gap here, right? There was a gap here. Price comes into the gap. I mean, you can barely see it, but that is a bullish and a bearish candle. This bearish candle engulfs that bullish candle, and then I got it on that, which is totally not part of my strategy, by the way. I mainly get in off of inverse gaps. That's my main thing. But what's funny is that, like, okay, that didn't play out. We got stopped out. The following trade makes those gaps, inverses the gap. I would have gotten in on this, and it would have played out completely fine because I would have kept my stops above here. But since I took this previous trade and I took the L, I was coming in the second one emotionally, right? So I basically got in on this inverse gap, but then I started to scale in positions, I think around here, and then I think I scaled in another one here. And all in all, I think I got stopped out. I can't remember. I scaled in a couple positions somewhere around these areas. I can't remember exactly. Oh, it was off of this other inverse gap here. and then off of this one, and then I put my stops above here or something like that, and then I got stopped out, if I remember correctly. Got stopped out losing us 3.3% on the day. Most of it was most of that loss was on this trade. Yeah, I think like 2% of that loss was probably on that trade. Then the other day after that, you know, I only lost 1% because I risk managed properly, but I did take 2 trades. But as you can see, like when I take that first out, the following trade is another out. Then we came into the markets again. We took this first trade again, same idea. We got emotional. Literally same freaking stuff happened. I skilled in positions, over leveraged, lost 3%. So, moral of the story is just take one trade, call it a day, and risk whatever you feel comfortable with that one trade. You know, and that's it. Like right now in the scenario that I'm in, I'm risking very little because I could pretty much just lose one more if I risk the amount that I'm thinking to risk, I could pretty much just take 2 more trades. Which kind of sucks. I mean, it sucks losing the account and stuff, but you know, it's just I do deserve to lose the account. You know, there's no excuse for it. I deserve to lose it. I mean, like there's no reason for me to having like 3 consecutive 3% L days. Like that's just not. So like, and like you'll notice that when I do take a win, it's typically on my first W. Typically, like not always. Like for example, in this day, I didn't necessarily lose anything. I broke even on this first trade. The following trade I did play out. But for example, this one, my first trade played out, second trade didn't play out. Right? Same thing here. First trade played out, called it a day. Boom. Same thing here. First day played out. Boom. This was yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to lose the account. I think I could still recover. I've been in this situation before. I'm not too worried about it though. Like if I do lose it, the way I see it is like if I do lose it, I deserve to lose it, just based off of how I've traded, you know. So right now the goal is just literally to get back to break even. I'm gonna slowly work my way up to that. I'm actually zoom this a little bit more. I'm gonna slowly work my way up to that if possible, obviously. But yeah, I pretty much just have like 2 more chances on my 100K. On my 10K, I do have like about 4 to 3 chances more in me. The 100K is still a challenge that I'm trying to pass. I'm still on phase 1. I've been on phase 1 for, I would say, like over a month already. Pretty sure. Which I think that's also part of like what has been frustrating and what's made me take dumb trades. Make sure I know how much I lost. I think that also has a, you know, that also played a factor in me taking dumb trades because I've been in drawdown, or not in drawdown, but trying to pass this phase 1 challenge for so long that it's made me 7.6. So it's like minus 8%, minus 0.8%. It's made me like force trades that I shouldn't be taking, over leverage on trades that I shouldn't be over leveraging and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much it. I mean, I'm done. There's not much for me to do. I think, bro, like, I should have just trusted this. Now I know for future reference, like, hey, if we do take these highs, like I think it's worth taking that shot either way, because especially after we inverse, because if we do inverse, like for us, inversing this gap is basically saying like price is looking for some sort of buy side liquidity to then potentially come back up and then take these highs, right? In this case, and it might happen now here on this look right here, we inverse this gap, boom, you get in, and then your TPs would have to be like up above in these areas. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's see if I'm able to make it back to break even point. Once I'm back on break even, I think adding this strategy or this risk management rule, which by the way, this risk management rule I've had, you know, this is something that's part of my risk management since I've started, but I just never followed it. So I'm gonna try to start following it, even though it's hard. You know, it's hard to really it's hard to just take an L like that and then just kind of leave the market. It really is hard. I don't know why. Well, that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you plays out well. Peace out.